Hey there, welcome. It's really good to see you here. If you're a man or woman over 55, I want to start by saying this. You are not alone. Aging brings a lot of unexpected changes, not just in how we move or sleep or eat, but in how we connect, how we feel, and yes, even in how we experience pleasure. Now I know this is one of those topics that rarely gets brought up at the dinner table, or even in most doctors' offices. But let's be real for a second. Intimacy doesn't end at 55. In fact, for many women, this chapter of life is where true pleasure finally begins, in a slower, deeper, more nourishing way. Let me ask you something that's simple but powerful. When was the last time you thought of an orgasm not as a moment of release, but as medicine? Real, healing, joy-bringing, health-supporting medicine. Something that isn't just about sex or performance, but about the deep emotional and physical well-being of a woman, especially in her later years. Because the truth is, the female body never forgets how to feel. It doesn't stop wanting to be touched, to be seen, or to be appreciated. It just sometimes gets quieter about it. And that silence, especially when paired with years of stress, caregiving, or loneliness, can lead to real tension in the mind and body. That's why we're having this conversation today. You see, science is finally catching up to what many women have felt all along. That orgasm isn't just a nice to have. It's deeply therapeutic. And if you're someone who's ever questioned whether it still matters, I want you to know it absolutely does. For your heart, your sleep, your brain, your bones, even your mood. Now, research from Rutgers University has shown that orgasm stimulates several areas of the brain, not just those tied to pleasure, but also those connected to emotion regulation, memory, and even pain perception. For a woman over 55 who might be managing hormonal shifts, aching joints, or emotional lows, this can be transformative. But let's pause here for a second because I know what some of you might be thinking. Is this really something I should be thinking about at my age? And the answer is a wholehearted yes. Not only is it safe, it's smart. According to the North American Menopause Society, postmenopausal women who maintain sexual activity, even if it's just self-pleasure, report better overall health, more restful sleep, and stronger intimacy bonds, whether they're partnered or not. So, if you've been quietly wondering whether pleasure still has a place in your life, I want to gently reassure you, it does. And not only that, it deserves more attention, not less. Especially now. One of the first things that happens when a woman allows herself to experience regular, healthy orgasm is a significant reduction in stress. That tightening in your chest? The overthinking before bed? The little waves of anxiety that don't seem to have a clear cause? These often begin to dissolve. Because during orgasm, your body floods itself with feel-good chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, all the ones that help you feel safe, balanced, and soothed. You may notice you breathe deeper afterward. You sleep better. You wake up less tight in the shoulders, less irritable at breakfast, less prone to snap at the little things. That's not just your mood, it's your nervous system finding calm. And that is one of the first gifts orgasm can offer. Emotional unwinding. But it's not just emotional. There's physical magic here too. Orgasm improves blood flow, and that means oxygen and nutrients are moving more efficiently through your body. This is especially powerful for women post-55 because circulation tends to slow with age, and that affects everything from your energy to your complexion to your cognitive sharpness. And here's another thing that might surprise you. Orgasm can actually help reduce pain. Yes, pain. That same Rutgers study I mentioned? It showed that during climax, a woman's brain increases tolerance to pain by releasing endorphins, the body's natural opioids. For those dealing with chronic backaches, headaches, or even arthritis flare-ups, this is no small gift. It's like your body giving itself its own gentle medicine. So if you've been relying on pills to manage discomfort, and yet still feel like something's missing, maybe the missing piece isn't more medication. Maybe it's permission. Permission to reconnect with your body in a way that's not only natural but deeply healing. And you don't have to do it in a hurry. There's no performance here. No pressure. Just the idea that once in a while, maybe once or twice a week, you can gift your body the release, the calm, the clarity it's quietly craving. Some women in their 50s, 60s, even 70s are discovering that with the right mindset and the right emotional space, their experiences now can feel more powerful than anything they had in their 20s. Not because their body is the same, but because their mind is freer. Because now, pleasure is no longer about impressing someone else. It's about nurturing yourself. So as you begin to open the door to this new relationship with pleasure, maybe for the first time or maybe again after years of distance, be gentle. Be curious. Let it unfold slowly like a conversation with someone you trust. Because once the body remembers how to feel safe again, something beautiful starts to shift. You know, something quite powerful happens when we begin to see pleasure not as a guilty indulgence, but as a quiet form of medicine. When a woman over 55 allows herself to feel again, without judgment or shame, she reclaims a part of her identity that may have been lost in years of caregiving, responsibilities, or silent sacrifices. And it's not about turning back the clock or trying to chase youth. It's about nurturing the woman you are now, wise, experienced, and deserving of joy on your own terms. Let's talk for a moment about sleep. You've probably noticed how elusive deep sleep can become with age. Maybe you wake up more in the night or struggle to fall asleep in the first place. That endless tossing and turning, mind replaying memories or worries on loop, it wears you down. And yet, one of the most overlooked natural remedies is right within reach: orgasm. You see, during and after orgasm, your body releases a flood of prolactin and oxytocin, both deeply connected to feelings of relaxation and emotional safety. These chemicals help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Unlike sleeping pills, there are no side effects, no grogginess the next morning. Just a deep, satisfied rest that comes from within. And if you're partnered, this benefit grows. Because shared intimacy doesn't just bring physical comfort, it brings emotional bonding. That closeness, that shared moment of vulnerability and affection, can bring couples back to each other even after years of distance. One study from the University of Chicago found that women in later life who reported regular sexual connection also reported higher satisfaction in their relationships, lower depression scores, and even stronger immune function. Yes, you heard that right, stronger immune function. When you experience an orgasm, your body increases levels of immunoglobulin A, an antibody that plays a key role in protecting against infections. That's not a small thing when your immune system is naturally aging. It's your body's way of reinforcing its defenses, while giving you pleasure in return. But let's shift gears a little, because this isn't only about avoiding illness or improving sleep. This is also about confidence. Because something happens when a woman over 55 reconnects with her sensuality. She starts to walk a little taller. She starts to smile from a more honest place. She takes up space without apology. And that kind of inner glow doesn't come from a cream, a supplement, or even a new haircut. It comes from knowing you are still alive inside. That energy shows up in the smallest places. The way you laugh, the way you engage in conversation, the way you dress, stand, move, or express your opinions. It all begins to shift when you feel safe and in touch with your own body again. I've had women share stories that will stay with me forever. Like the woman who hadn't touched herself in 15 years after her husband passed, and who felt too guilty to even try. When she finally did, she said it was like her spirit came home. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but in a gentle exhale. Like her body saying, "Thank you. I'm still here." And it's stories like that that remind us, this isn't about being provocative. It's about being whole. It's about reclaiming a part of ourselves that was never meant to be hidden away. Because the older we get, the more we need emotional grounding, connection, and expression, not less. There's also something to be said for the brain benefits. Yes, the brain. Neurologists have found that orgasm boosts circulation to the brain and activates multiple neural regions at once. Those linked to memory, decision-making, even focus. For women concerned about mental clarity or early signs of cognitive slowing, this is incredibly meaningful. A healthy sex life can, quite literally, keep the mind young. And it doesn't need to be dramatic or overly frequent. In fact, some research suggests that for postmenopausal women, 1 to 2 orgasms per week can offer measurable benefits in hormone regulation, mood balance, and sleep. It's not about chasing quantity, it's about tuning in to what feels right for you. Some women find solo touch to be their most healing path. Others feel more open with a loving partner. There's no rule book. There's only your relationship with your own body. And however that relationship looks, if it's built on respect, patience, and curiosity, you're already on the right path. And here's one more thing to consider: circulation and pelvic health. As women age, the pelvic floor muscles, which support the bladder, bowel, and uterus, can weaken. This can lead to issues like urinary incontinence or discomfort during movement. But orgasm, by nature, strengthens those muscles. It's a kind of internal workout, if you will, one that keeps your lower body strong, supported, and better functioning well into your later years. So when people ask, why does this matter after 55? Maybe the better question is, why wouldn't it? Because pleasure isn't a phase. It's a part of your overall wellness, like eating nourishing food or taking a walk in the sunshine. And if something so natural, so beautiful, can help you sleep better, think clearer, feel more confident, and strengthen your body, why deny yourself that? Of course, this path isn't always simple. Sometimes emotional wounds, trauma, or cultural beliefs stand in the way. That's okay. This isn't about forcing a change overnight. It's about slowly, gently opening a door that may have been closed for too long. Because once you give yourself permission, not from society, not from your past, but from you, to reconnect with joy, something powerful begins to happen. There's something profoundly beautiful that begins to bloom when a woman over 55 starts giving herself back to herself. Not for anyone else. Not to meet expectations or chase some old version of who she used to be, but just because she deserves to feel whole again. Sometimes the most healing thing we can do is to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect partner, the perfect body, the perfect reason, and instead simply start listening to our own need for tenderness, for connection, for release. Because when that quiet voice inside says, "I miss feeling good," it's not asking for anything loud or dramatic. It's asking for presence, for gentle attention, for truth. An orgasm, when it comes from a place of self-respect and care, can be one of the most powerful responses to that need. But this healing isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's about feeling alive in your own skin again. Feeling safe. Feeling like your body isn't just something to manage, but something to enjoy. Something that gives and not just something that ages. That's what so many women discover in this stage of life. Pleasure becomes less about performance and more about connection, not just with others but with themselves. They start to embrace their softness, their wisdom, their curves, their stillness. They stop rushing. They start savoring. And let's be honest, that's where the real power lives. One of the most remarkable things I've heard from women exploring this journey is how much more deeply they've come to appreciate themselves. Not just physically but emotionally. They've begun to trust their instincts again. Speak their truths more freely. Say yes and no with more certainty. There's a groundedness that shows up when you no longer deny yourself joy. Because when a woman begins to experience regular, mindful pleasure, something else beautiful happens. Her self-worth quietly begins to rise. She's not looking for validation in a mirror or through someone else's approval. She carries it with her, in how she speaks, how she walks, how she shows up in the world. And that shift, right there, that's what healing really is. So how often should a woman experience orgasm? There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Some women feel renewed with once a week. Others enjoy it more often. The key isn't the number, it's the intention. Are you doing it with kindness toward yourself? With joy? With curiosity? With respect? If the answer is yes, you're doing just fine. Whether it's through self-touch, deep connection with a partner, or simply inviting more sensual awareness into your daily life, like slowing down to enjoy the feeling of water on your skin, or the warmth of a soft blanket, or the sun across your neck, it all counts. Because the body doesn't need grand gestures. It needs presence, permission, and a little bit of attention. Maybe for some of you, this conversation stirred up old feelings, hesitations, maybe even a bit of sadness. That's okay. This is tender territory. But know this, it's never too late to reconnect with your body. It's never too late to forgive yourself, or to rediscover what brings you peace. There is no cutoff age for healing. There is no expiration date on joy. So if you're watching this today and wondering if there's still time to feel that warmth again, the answer is yes. And not only is there time, there's space. Right here. Right now. This is your invitation to begin. You are not broken. You are not too old. You are not forgotten. You are a living, breathing, deserving soul, and your body is still your home. So take a breath. Let the shame melt. Let the pressure go. And remember, even one moment of pleasure, one moment of deep, true connection with yourself, can begin to restore the garden inside. I hope this message gently opens that door for you. And if it spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts, your experiences, or even your questions. This is a space of compassion and curiosity. And if you'd like more videos that speak to healing, strength, and intimacy after 55, please do like and subscribe. You are not alone in this journey. You are part of something sacred, the quiet return to joy. That's all for this video, friends. You have a great time. And remember, your story isn't over. It's just beginning again with more grace, more truth, and more love than ever before.